Activated by Temperance Spirits. Temperance Spirits, creating a space for change.
Sorry guys, I was muted. You're watching Game Over Edmonton, your source for the best analysis for the Edmonton Oilers for the 23-24 season. Game Over Edmonton is pleased to announce our title sponsor for the season, Temperance Spirits, Edmonton's preferred non-alcoholic beverage retailer. Temperance curates a vast selection of local craft non-alcoholic options. Choose from the selection of beers, wines, mocktails, and spirits. We believe that a social lifestyle does not require the consumption of alcohol. To celebrate Sober October, enjoy 10% off some of our favorite beverages. Let's raise a toast to being sober this October. Find Temperance online at temperance-spirits.com and follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Temperance Spirits. All right, we're back. Dennis, me, Oilers, shitty again. What else is new? I am very, very, very frustrated. I actually feel defeated. I don't even know what there is to say anymore. I believe last year, Jonathan Quick was the only goalie worse than Jack Campbell in the NHL. Save for maybe a Columbus goalie, but I might be wrong. Regardless, they were just shut out by essentially David Ayres. They were shut out by David Ayres. Like, this is horrible. This is absolutely the darkest timeline. This is the worst possible case scenario in every single way. Is the season over? We'll get into it. What happened tonight? We'll get into it.
My
mic's ass.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's be honest, right? Like, this was a night that you really wanted to win on. And we remember last time when we had, a big ceremony for Kevin Lowe. It was against the Rangers. You know what? Let's win this one. Let's will the team back from from being down 3. Coincidence. But like, this time, as soon as the second goal went in, you just knew that the Oilers were not bringing it back. Like, this was not a game that the Oilers were going to win after the second goal in the second period. And it wasn't really on Skinner. Like, let's be honest.
Not at all.
He was great. Like, all you need from this team is average goaltending. We've said that time and time again. Unless your defense is just standing around doing nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole game. This was a tire fire. And the one silver lining tonight, unlike the other night when people were trying to paint Jack Campbell as having a good game when he didn't, and essentially, I want to say, cost the Oilers the game. Tonight, Stuart Skinner played well. This is an effort from your goaltender that you can win with. The difference is they didn't score. They couldn't get anything going. That first period, yeah, you can sit there and say, okay, the ceremony for Doug Weight and Charlie Huddy's retirement made you guys have heavy legs. You felt sloppy going out, and yeah, the first couple minutes were pretty choppy. There was a bunch of icings, a bunch of whistles really fast. Neither team got anything going. But that slow start for the Oilers continued, and then for the Rangers in the second period, it flipped. Like, there were plays that the Oilers made in the first period, where if they had a finisher, and they had someone playing on that first line besides Leon Draisaitl, he wasn't lugging around with me and you on his wings, the Oilers might have actually scored. Like,
honestly, they could have dressed Doug Weight and Charlie Huddy.
Literally.
They would have done the same effect.
Exactly. Drive put passes right on Janmark's tape. In that first period, there was a back-to-back sequence where Janmark had a beautiful feed, and he whiffed on the one-timer wide of the net. Kulak then passes to Foegele. Foegele again misses the net completely. Yeah, Fogel's been finishing good the last couple games. Seem to have forgot that because every odd man rush that Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Foegele line got, later on in the game, they were passing and they completely whiffed. Would that line have 5 odd man rushes with literally 0 shots on any of those odd man rushes?
Yeah, like Janmark had the chance, Foegele had the chance, like you mentioned. But what was really annoying was just seeing these grade A passes from Draisaitl not even get on net, right? It was always off the post. A couple of posts tonight from both sides, more on the New York Rangers side.
Did
but
the Oilers hit a post? I think Fogle might have hit a
Fogle one.
post. But Wheeler,
and a
but
couple.
Fogle, that was a sloppy post in front of the net.
Yeah, he was
Wheeler rang it off the bar. There were a number, like, the Oilers were lucky. Like, Stuart Skinner played well. Positionally, very good. Lateral movement, exceptional. He was making saves that sometimes we congratulate because the Oilers make it look so hard, but because of his positioning, because of his play, he made harder saves look easier. Skinner played really good. The only goal you can even argue is in the second period, I believe, I want to say it was on, I don't know if it was a power play, Braden Schneider walks in kind of from 25 feet out in the slot. He is screened by Darnell Nurse. The thing is there, they let Schneider just walk in with the puck. They back up on him completely. Darnell Nurse doesn't challenge him at all. Instead, he goes down on that one knee and tries to block the shot. Screen Skinner, goes top corner. Like, unacceptable.
Here's the thing. The first goal, it was on the power play. The first goal was on the power play. The Schneider one wasn't. The first goal was the floater from Fox, right? That was on the power play.
But that was a skilled play, honestly, by
That
Fox.
was a skilled play. It was a beautiful goal. Like, beautiful
The passing goal was exceptional there. Like, Stu is making those saves, and those are hard saves to make laterally, and he made two, and then the Rangers figured him out. They outweighted Skinner. He slid, and then Fox had a little bit extra time to shoot. Skilled play.
Here's the thing, right? Like, on that play, Desharnais has no man. He's not in the lane to block the shot. He's not doing anything. And that was the whole situation all game long. That goal, the Schneider goal, he has so much time to just snipe it. And that came off of one failed breakout, right? Like one failed pass out of the zone. And we'll get into the D zone breakout pretty soon after this, I imagine. But that goal and the third goal, which was a one-timer from Panarin, I think Lafreniere.
Yeah.
That one, again, like, once again, you have a lot of Oilers defensemen that are just standing in like a formation, a box and one, whatever you want to call it. They're in this formation, but they're all standing straight up. They're all rigid spine, not ready to skate at all. I don't understand this defensive system. There's almost like such an intense passiveness to this system. You are never challenging the puck carrier. There was a shot, I can't remember who took it, but I think it was Adam Fox again. He had like 3 seconds. It was the one that went off Nurse's hand in the third. He had like 3 seconds to just walk right up. I don't know why he decided to aim for Nurse's wrist, but like, he had all this time in the world, and it kept happening again and again. They just keep having these couple of seconds to pick their shots or to pick what play is going to happen. And when that happens, you have Skinner just doing a lot of lateral movement, and he's not going to get all of them. It's impossible to.
No, absolutely. Obviously, before we continue, there's 82 people watching now, and we only got 18 likes. So you guys want to hit the like button, give us something to smile about in our lives, because right now, Dennis and I really have nothing to smile about. There's no Connor. You pretty much have Leon and a bunch of bums. And the funny thing is, like, on paper, you look at this team, they shouldn't be this bad. You can sit here and we can make the argument that they've been getting unlucky. We can make the argument, if you look at the past couple of games, that their goalies have been atrocious. Like, there's a number of things plaguing this team. They have beaten Winnipeg? Yeah. Could they have beaten Vancouver? Yeah. They've had multiple no-shows. There's systematic, fundamental problems with the way this team is being deployed and with the roster construction itself. We can go so deep on Connor Brown, Ryan McLeod, who I thought had a decent game. Like, he looked better tonight. Obviously, when you miss training camp, you're going to have to ease into it. Matthias Ekholm doesn't look like the player who ended the season with the Oilers. Obviously, when you have a hip injury, you're 33 years old, and you miss all of training camp, that's bound to happen. But there's no time for this. They're 1-5-1 now. They don't have Connor McDavid. Guys, also, one thing I wanted to say, Jay Woodcroft said he'd give an update on Connor after the game, so if you guys want to let us know what he says in chat, because we aren't able to watch his press conference, that'd be greatly appreciated. But the Oilers are 1-5-1. Whether Connor does or doesn't play, Yeah, okay, maybe Connor gets them 2 goals here. They still lose by 3. I'm sure a lot of you, I know you, Dennis, you follow Jack Hahn on Twitter. Jack Hahn is going so deep this season, tweeting about the Oilers' D-zone structure. The Rangers play the system that the Oilers are trying to play, but the difference is the way the Rangers get it to their forwards in the neutral zone, and their neutral zone defensive system is completely different than what the Oilers run. What's essentially being said is the Oilers are running some atrocious neutral zone system that doesn't match up at all with the defensive scheme that they're running, and it's leading to a ton of confusion, very sloppy, passive neutral zone defense, and the Oilers are allowing insane amounts of odd man rushes or periods of time where they start chasing the game. Like, you look at that second period, it's very reminiscent of portions of the game against Minnesota, where all of a sudden, whether it's Panarin just starts going off and just creating odd man rush, odd man rush, odd man rush. And yeah, okay, the Rangers mess up a 2-0 in the first, but you know what? That's kind of a symptom of the problem. You see it consistently. Odd man rush, and yeah, Skinner's playing well, but you give him that many grade A chances, they're going to score. And obviously, he didn't let in all those grade A chances like Campbell did in the prior game, but still, it's just not good enough. Like, we can talk about the defense, goaltending, and forwards all separately, but there were so many different things. Like, the effort from the start of the game, like, outshot 6-1 by New York right off the bat. I don't care that there was a ceremony. You're 1-4-1. There should be urgency through the roof. The way all you guys were talking were unreal. You need this neutral zone system needs to shift. Like, or defense. Like, there needs to be a change now. There is no more fucking around. Like, there is no more, it's early in the season. We're 7 games in. We're 15 games in. Like, Connor will come back at some point. But is Connor enough? You look at just how bad this this team is playing. Like, they can't get anything going. Okay, they got a decent amount of shots on Jonathan Quick. In the first period, they did not test Jonathan Quick once. They did not make him move. They did not make him work. There was no second chance opportunities. He did not fight to see the puck once. There were clear shots from the outside, and Quick had to do nothing. The second period, outside of one sequence where the third line got to work, hemmed him in, Holloway and McLeod got a good chance. Quick made a decent save, and then the Fogelheim and Nugent-Hopkins line came on, played it, had another another cycle. Outside of that minute and 30 stretch, was there another chance besides Hyman's in the third where he kind of got a bounce and got in alone on Quick, where he had to make a single save? That was tough.
Like, here's the thing. There was the strongest chance. Here's the strongest chance in the first period, because I actually wrote it down. This was the only hope in the first period for a goal, and that was when Fogle rushed on an odd man break with Nuge and almost gave Nuge the backhand tap in. It ended up being a power play because Wheeler had to hook him. But that was it. Like, 20 minutes, and that's all you got. Draisaitl is not the issue. Draisaitl has played so well, but he's just not able to drag literally
these corpses.
10 other forwards. He can't do it.
Dude, every time you look at Leon Draisaitl on the ice, Adam Erne is on his left wing. The Grand Rapids Griffin, Adam Erne. The guy couldn't make the fucking Grand Rapids Griffins, and he's the first line, left wing or right wing on the Edmonton Oilers. I want to know, someone needs to ask Ken Holland, Jay Woodcroft, I don't know who, what they saw in Adam Erne. What does he do well? What earned him a contract? Because he is fucking Like, I hated on Devon Shore. I hated on Devon Shore. And I'm still having mic problems, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to fix them, but
sorry, audio listeners. If this episode
I don't know. I gotta get a new mic. It's turning into a piece of garbage. I'm trying to work through it. I'll turn down the volume.
It might just be a software thing, because Zach sounds amazing in my headset, guys. Maybe you guys just need better headsets. No, I'm kidding. Here's the thing, right? Like, for the first period, I thought after probably like Draisaitl, Fogle, like, what was the next best forward?
But look at this, Dennis. Okay, we're in year 10 of Leon Draisaitl. We're in year 10. He has been an Edmonton Oilers for 10 seasons. 10 seasons. Yeah. And in the third period, and keep in mind, these adjustments are already way too late. And I get they're 11-7. But Derek Ryan cannot be your first line right winger. He's the second oldest skater in the National Hockey League. I like Derek Ryan. He can't skate. The Oilers are already slow. They are already a slow team. Philadelphia They made Philadelphia look fast. They made Vancouver
amazing.
and Winnipeg look fast.
Like here's the situation, right? I think other than Draisaitl and Fogle, Kulak might have had the most like offensive pressure in the first period. I thought Kulak played really well tonight. He looked sharp. He had some solid drives, but here's the situation, like you mentioned, there has been such a downgrade in this offensive core, and I don't understand because here's who we lost, right? We lost Yamamoto, we lost Costin, we lost Devon Shore, we lost Nick Bukestad. Those are all guys that are like middle to bottom six guys, and for some reason it has resulted in this absolute clusterfuck of a team that can't score.
Sorry.
They can't score. They can't defend. They can't do anything. Dude, this team loves to just stand around.
Adam Erne has me missing Devon Shore. Like, to add insult to injury, everyone saw Devon Shore just pull out the inner McDavid and knock down the pass and go in and score on a breakaway. And meanwhile, they're plugging out this guy in cement boots who can't shoot, he can't hit, he can't skate. You might as well put Bob Stauffer out there on the first line right wing. Like, honestly, he does nothing. Get him off the team. Why did they send down Lavoie? Why did they send down Ben Gleason? And I get that these guys aren't going to make or break a team, but you look at how teams play. They play fast, and we can't start this toughness shit. We can't start this toughness shit. We cannot start the Oilers are not tough enough. Was there any physicality from the Rangers tonight? Is that what we're going to say? But sit here and blame the grit of the Oilers that they lost because they didn't throw enough hits? They didn't make the loss tough enough for the Rangers? No! Clem Costin, yes, he fought, he hit, he was a decent finisher, especially in the bottom six for what he was.
Good finish.
But $2 million, too expensive for Clem Costin. You're expected, as the highest paid general manager in the NHL, to cut bait with these guys. Every championship team, and the Oilers are not a championship team, they take these guys, they get rid, they find their new Andrew Ladd, like Chicago, they found a new Andrew Ladd, they found a new Dustin Byfuglien, they found a new starting goalie in Corey Crawford. They consistently, and these are top six guys, top two defensemen, and the Oilers are sitting here with a guy who passed through waivers. And
no one wanted this guy.
And we're acting like this loss is one of the pivotal losses that they didn't bring back. I'm sorry. No, you should have the skill as the highest paid general manager in the league to go out and find this player personnel, to consistently replace them, to have a pipeline of these guys coming in. But the fact is, under Ken Holland, the Edmonton Oilers are one of the worst drafting teams in the NHL. They're one of the only teams who up until last year have had their first round pick for the last 10 seasons, and they have nothing to show for it. Since 2019, they're one of, I believe, 10 players who do not have a drafted player who has played 82 games or more in the National Hockey League. Every other team does. And the Edmonton Oilers are one of the only teams of those 10 who have had their first round pick in all of those years, obviously not last year. Like, they don't have the player personnel. They don't have the guy at the top making good decisions. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
They're fundamentally broken. And still, I don't care how slow or how flawed some of their forwards are. I don't care how tough of a start of a season Evander Kane has had, but the fact of the matter is, take away Connor McDavid for the last 2 games. Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Evander Kane, Matthias Ekholm, Darnell. Like, they have the talent to beat these teams, and they aren't executing. They're not executing. So we can blame the player personnel conversation is another thing. But the execution itself, that's an in-game thing. Against Vegas, we complained. Jay Woodcroft didn't make adjustments, outcoached by Bruce Cassidy. Obviously, Aiden Hill went off. They got a bunch of luck, whatever. They changed their system. They made fundamental changes. It's bit them in the ass. No one knows what they're doing out there. They're jumping between systems. They're bouncing around. Their coverage
They're pointing at
sucks.
each other.
They're yelling. No one knows who to cover.
No one knows what they're doing. They're trying to point other people going, hey, yo, you go over there. Who's covering that guy? Because this box plus one style just doesn't work. And they are not denying any neutral zone entries. Like, how many chances does New York just get to walk right into the zone? Like, there is absolutely no pressure at all in this system. And if it's been 7 games. If it isn't working, say for the one game that you blew out a team, but hey, that was Nashville. Like, if it wasn't for that one game, everything here is just a waste of talent, a waste of time. We talked prior, like we talked prior to the show going live. The third period, I didn't watch it. I was on my phone. I don't know. Like
I barely have any notes. Like there was nothing to write about. You're down by 3. You have the risk of going down 1-5-1. This is your copper bus season. There was no effort. I get the captain is out of the lineup. It shouldn't matter. Yes, the Rangers are a good team, but the Rangers just sat back and Edmonton just shot themselves in the foot. There was no effort. There was no forecheck. There was nothing. There were no chances. Of those 12 shots or whatever they got in the third period, how many were actually high danger opportunities? Let's look at this. Third period, 4 high danger opportunities. In the Rangers, it says that they outchanced
back in the third.
All the stats tonight are saying, okay, the Oilers actually generated more expected goals than the Rangers at 5-on-5. But it doesn't matter. You can't finish. And the thing is, for so many seasons, we've known that the Oilers have had a problem with finishers. They don't have anyone who can finish. Evander Kane is a volume shooter. Evander Kane scores goals in bunches, but Evander Kane is not an efficient shooter. They don't have anyone on this roster outside of obviously Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl that when they get the opportunity can put the puck in the net. One of those guys that we thought was going to be one of those finisher finally was Connor Brown. He has been horrible. I get the ACL thing. I get it. But you see today, he had a one-timer right in the slot. He just put it right into Jonathan Quick's crest. He gets a one-timer right in the slot. He puts it wide of the net
he
by 2
knocked
feet.
One out of the air.
Like,
great.
Finish.
Good job. Do you want a reward for that?
The Oilers are 2 games away. If Connor Brown, I believe it's either 2 or 3 more games. If Connor Brown plays 2 or 3 more games, he locks in his $3.25 million bonus for next season. Yeah, 3 games away then. 10. So if Connor Brown has 0 goals, 0 assists, I believe he's been on the ice for 4 goals against, something like that. At this point, he's going to end up doing cardio all the way to a $4 million cap hit for the Oilers next year. Like,
and here's the thing too, right? This is a situation where we are clamoring for a lineup change right now. Put someone down, send someone up, a kid, someone who's looking for that one shot in the NHL, right? A guy who's got one chance to really make it. Have them bring that energy.
And Dennis, the guy you're describing as Raphael Lavoie. Like, you have a guy who excels. His thing is finishing. Is he the best skater? No. You draft him. He's your second round pick from 2019 or whatever. Give him a shot. Why is Adam Erne here?
Night after night, we keep coming back with the same roster and expecting something to change. The same roster, the same system. Doesn't matter who's in net, Campbell or Skinner. If they're average, it isn't enough right now because, newsflash, 0 goals doesn't win you hockey games. If you can't score, there's literally nothing you can do to win hockey games. So I think this team currently, I hate to panic because it's game 7.
No, Dennis.
But
it's panic time now.
It's panic time.
They're in 31st place. It's panic time. They have shown.
There's a 13% chance
they've been showing time. If they've been showing any sort of signs that, okay, you know what, this is they're getting screwed on PDO. You know what? They are getting opportunities. They are getting chances. They are generating, their injuries, whatever. But there's been nothing. There is no reason to give these guys the benefit of the doubt right now. Absolutely none. They have shown us nothing. Every worst possible case scenario has happened. Before I continue, I just want to say there's almost 150 of you watching. We only got 40 likes. Please hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Give us something to smile about because every time we turn on the Oilers game, it's just pure misery. Pure misery for 60 minutes. Well, 2.5 hours, actually. But
we're getting a little bit of insider information here from Avery. He's in the locker room. Everyone in there is pissed off. But here's the situation, right? Care. They have to show emotion. Zadorov on the Flames, they lost tonight as well. And we'll get into the next game, which is going to be a big one, I feel like, for both franchises. But you're looking at Zadorov coming out and literally saying, we're garbage. Like, we are a terrible team. And I don't see that happening in Edmonton. Right now, the guys are just, especially Woodcroft, he's just coming out and saying, there's growing pains. There's growing pains. We're learning new things. We're constantly learning every game. There's some growing pains. We're going to figure out there's a couple things that we can do better. if you just keep going back to the same program, it will not work. The situation here we're in is so
Well,
dire
how?
because
Sorry.
like we might not make it to the dance.
No,
Right? That's
Liddy,
the
you are
key.
making it so hard for yourself to dig yourself out of the hole. And we've seen this team. That's the thing. Yes, is it? Yes, should you panic? Should you make changes? And I don't want to be the guy ringing the alarms. The British are coming. The British are coming. I don't want to be that guy. But, like, seriously, I get that the leadership core is talking and they're frustrated. Well, you know what? I'm fucking frustrated. Every person who spent that obscene amount of money to go to the Heritage Classic to watch this 1-5-1 abomination play, it should be frustrated. I frankly don't care. You know what that kind of feels like to me? It reminds me of last year when you'd see Jack Campbell after a really bad game saunter out to the press and he'd be all just it's on me and you know seven times into that routine it got old. And into the season after every loss we've heard the same, we're frustrated, it's unacceptable, blah blah blah. It got real hot real fast, but it's nothing to me. It is nothing to me. The way they played tonight does not show to me that they are experiencing that frustration. They played like dog shit. They played like it was January. They have a 10-point lead on the division, and they just really didn't care what happened. They're without their captain, whatever. This is so dire. Changes need to happen so fast. So fast. It's
Here's the situation, right? McDavid comes back, like you mentioned. McDavid scores a couple goals a night. Draisaitl gets a little bit different, competition on the ice. He scores a couple goals a night. It still doesn't matter when everyone on your defense is standing around, letting in 3, 4, 5 goals a night, not doing anything. They're literally standing around looking at the puck carrier inch towards them and pick a spot through them. They're not aggressive. They're not defensive, getting into shooting lanes or anything like that. It's just depressing seeing any team get into the Oilers zone and just rotating around, shifting that puck around, waiting for a chance. And there's in the past couple of games, we've had a couple of big moments that we can just point to and say, okay, that sucked. That was the issue. Oh, the pizza from Skinner in one game, the awful coverage from Bouchard, these are things
about Bouchard
that weren't in this game. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so that's the thing. So, okay, last game, everyone's pointing to Evan Bouchard. He makes a couple of mistakes. Every single mistake Evan Bouchard made, it seemed like it ended up in the back of the net. In the first period of this game, Warren Foegele, who everyone's been singing the praises of, and me too, like, I think he has been one of the few bright spots on the Edmonton Oilers this year. He has looked like a really good middle six winger. Warren Foegele passes to literally no one. You had to have been trying to pass to Mika Zibanejad in the slot or whoever he passed to, and thank God for Stu that he came out and stopped it because the Rangers got a glorious opportunity in this slot all alone. But the only difference between Foegele and Bouchard is Jack Campbell didn't stop those. Skinner tonight did. Like, that's the only reason. And to build on that, Jay Woodcroft, the only adjustment after being absolutely embarrassed by Minnesota, already saying the same shit last game that we're hearing tonight. Oh, we're embarrassed. We're pretty like shit. Oh, we got to be better. We're better. We're a better team. We're a Stanley Cup contender. Oh, shut the fuck up. Literally, it doesn't matter. The only adjustment they made is they put Evan Bouchard on the third pairing with Brett Kulak. Like, that doesn't signal to me that you are seeing what is the problem with this team. You are just running your head into a wall repeatedly, making the same mistakes over and over again. You didn't look at the forwards. You didn't look at the problems that they had scoring. You didn't look at the problems that they had defending. You didn't make any changes there. You've given Adam Erne and Derek Ryan more time with Leon Draisaitl, if anything. Like, it doesn't make sense. Mattias Janmark started this game as the first-line right winger. He has not been good there. Yes, okay, he had a decent rush to the net last game. Like, congratulations. Don't count on the score sheet. If you don't convert, I do not care. I do not care. If Adam Erne scored 2 goals last game, I would have a completely different tone if I saw him on the first line with Leon Draisaitl. But the fact of the matter is, he is literally dog shit. I'd generally rather watch Avery Lewis McDougal go out there and play with Leon Draisaitl than
Does he
watch
have the helmet
Adam
or the
Erne.
fedora?
It doesn't matter. Either way, it's the same result.
Here's the thing, right? We were listening to Janmark on the second line, Janmark on the first line. What the fuck? Right now, we're seeing Ernie and Derek Ryan on the first line. Can we stop? Can we go back to Janmark? When Janmark was out in the first for like 10 minutes, I was like, this is actually worse. I don't
And you know
understand
what?
why.
And you know what? With Connor Brown on that right wing, they generated a chance. Was it a great
Oh, yeah.
chance? No. But they generated something.
Brown is very snake bitten. I get that, but he hasn't been even remotely close to as advertised. He has been trying, but we can't give him $4 million to try, right? Something has to happen here. He either has to start producing a little bit, or he's not getting that money. It's not happening, because if we tank this year, okay, but we can't also just throw away $3 million next year.
No.
This is an unexcusable management of
We
the
have
team.
to remember, Jeff Jackson is the guy who negotiated that contract. There is no way in chance that Jeff Jackson will let Connor Brown be waived. There is no way in chance. He is going to be an Oiler this season. We just have to hope that he figures it out, and he figures it out quick. Rangers fans were complaining about Blake Wheeler for the past couple games. He has not been a good player for them. The Oilers made Blake Wheeler, who Jets fans were complaining about. He looked so good. He hit the post. He was really impactful on another disallowed goal, the kick, which I thought should count. I don't understand how it got disallowed. There's shades of Blake Coleman there.
Yeah, I thought that should have counted. But here's the thing. Wheeler had a chance where he literally walked into the box, 4 Oilers surrounding him, and he got the chance in the slot and still had enough time to get a pretty good shot off. I don't understand how this system's supposed to work when you can just have guys walking in.
Well,
and
they're just not doing the system the way it's supposed to be done. They are not running this box and plus one man zone defense the way it's supposed to be done. The center is always getting lost. There's always someone getting lost covering their man in the corner, and they ends up with a slot chance for the opposition. The Rangers run the same defense. The Oilers didn't get a sniff tonight. They literally didn't get a sniff aside from a couple lucky bounces and a couple sustained cycles in the second period. They did not get a sniff. There was nothing. It's embarrassing. There's no finish. And is Jesse Puljujarvi the solution? I don't know. He's finished.
Bring him back. Bring back the Bison King.
Yeah.
Nothing is a solution right now. I am literally just watching this team repeat game after game the same shit. It's the same Voss definition of insanity level of play, and I can't see a way out of this.
Well, when they finally put Dylan Holloway on that wing, sorry, I cut you off, but they made that adjustment 4 games later than everyone's been asking for in the third period, and again, you go out and put him out with Derek Ryan. Put Holloway in a chance to succeed. Make at least one, put Hyman on that right wing. Put Kane there even. Honestly, give something to those guys. Make one line that'll be good. Make one line that's slightly dynamic. Stop having 2 guys and a guy with cinder blocks in his skates go out there.
Give the youth a chance. I don't care if it's Lavoie. I don't care if it's Peterson. I don't care if it's Kajula.
They all got to not Kajula.
Whoever it might be. Send Ernie down, bro. We're already bleeding goals anyway. Fuck it. Bring Drake Kajula up. I just can't believe this team is refusing to do anything with their roster. And unless someone goes on LTIR or IR, it doesn't seem like anything's going to change. There's no inkling of this at all.
And the fact that this has been happening and no adjustments have been made, and now they were shut out by Jonathan Quick. I was happy to see that Quick was announced to be starting the game. I was really happy. Vegas would have put in their emergency backup goalie before they put Jonathan Quick in a game against the Oilers last year. There was no chance he was going to touch the ice in that playoff series. They knew how bad he had been all season, and he came in tonight, and the Oilers treated him like he was the second coming of George Vezina. I don't know what that respect was. Every odd man rush. Not one shot. What was that? Pass, into a guy's skate, into a stick. Oh, just into the middle of nowhere.
Nothing. Into just not on net. Okay, let's calm down. We have a couple of fun things. I mean, next game obviously is going to be the Heritage Classic. We'll do this a little announcement. But in order to preface it first, Calgary and Edmonton are currently both on 4-game losing streaks. What's this game going to look like? I just can't imagine it would be a quality game.
Man, if both teams could lose, they probably would. But that's the thing here. This is, no matter what's happening right now, and I think the reason why you won't hear a lot of people sounding the panic alarm is because of the talent that is on this team on paper, because they are so skilled, and we saw them go, since when they got Ekholm, 17-2, 19-2, 15-2, whatever it was after the trade. We know they are capable. This exact roster, it literally switch out Connor Brown for Kyler Yamamoto, is capable of going on sustained long runs of winning. This is a much better team than we've seen so far. They are going to add the best player in the world back into their roster. I don't care how good Jack Hughes is playing. I love Jack Hughes, but if you asked anyone to pick one player to start a team with today, they'd pick Connor McDavid still. Regardless, they're going to add him back.
That's our deadline acquisition, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jack Hughes. Yeah. Anyways, you'd pick.
There's 171 people in chat live on 11 almost Mountain Time. I love all of y'all.
I appreciate it, guys. Like that. This is the happiest I've been, in the last 5 hours. I can say for being very positive. So if you guys want to go ahead, hit that like button. We really appreciate it. In a bit, Dennis and I will take some questions in chat. So throw in your suggestions for how you think this should be fixed, how you think Woodcroft should turn it around, what you think he should do. Maybe lines you'd run. Is there a trade target early in the season that you think the Oilers should go and get? Is there a guy on waivers? Is there someone in Bakersfield that you'd like to see be called up? Let us know. We'll give you our thoughts on that. But yeah, just talking about the Heritage Classic,
let's talk about it.
I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I think, and maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm just a sucker, and maybe I'm setting myself up for disappointment. But going up against a team like the Flames, now this could go one of two ways. You could go into this game, and you could turn your season around right here. This is a big game, regardless of it being on a Sunday, which is really stupid in itself. Regardless of it being on a Sunday, it's going to be national. It's going to be big news. You're going to be the story. You go in there. Connor McDavid comes out of the tunnel. He makes a surprise appearance at the game. Everyone's going to be shocked. The Oilers go out and win that game and put out a decent performance. I don't care if you're playing the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Anaheim Ducks, whatever. That is how you build momentum going forward. And we saw, I think Skinner should start that game. There's no chance I start Jack that game. Sorry, Wes, Kyle, whatever. Regardless, Skinner will start. But that's a building block. That's a building block. And I think this is that pivotal moment. It can go one of two ways. One of these teams will go on a streak after this. You have to make sure that it is the Edmonton Oilers. You cannot let Calgary into that game. You need to go out there and you need to shell Markstrom. You need to shell Vladar, whoever that is. It needs to be the best effort of the season from this game, from here on out. But this is one of those games. This is a canon event. This is a pivotal moment. If they lose this game, like they were just shut out by Jonathan Quick, this can be your LA game from last year where you lost and you were frustrated and you fought and were pissy and whatever, and you go out and you turn it around early, then you should be you can get on a roll, and we know that this team can roll. If the Flames win, this could be a really tough year for you and I specifically.
It's gonna be an ugly one. I mean, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do if the Flames win, because after the Heritage Classic, we're not gonna have a show right away, because there will be a live in-person show at the Pint Off-White.
Yep.
Both Calgary and Edmonton's hosts are going to be there. You're going to get Avery, you're going to get Zach, you're going to get myself, but also Peter and Audie are going to be there. I really hope, for the love of God, that we beat the fucking socks off the Calgary Flames, because I could not sit there and just let Peter and Audie absolutely rip us to shreds.
Otherwise, we're gonna have to have a host-only meeting and discuss, how frustrated we are, and shake our fists in the air like, well, we should be better. Like, shut the fuck up. Give me some results. I'm so sick of that players-only meeting. Like, do something. Seriously, do something. But yeah, come on down to the Pine on White. Well, we'll all be there. We'll all be hanging out after the game. Temperance Spirits will be there. It'll be a great time. Obviously, I'm super excited to meet all you guys and even meet Dennis for the first time. Honestly,
Yeah. There's gonna be tickets in the description if you check out the Eventbrite link. There are a limited number of tickets. We're gonna try to fit as many of you guys in there as possible, guys and gals. If you can, get your ticket requests in early, because that means we can plan for a bigger room, bigger situation going on there. Look, I'm gonna be honest. This is already a situation where I have no faith in the management. I have no faith in the coaching. Unless the players are able to figure something out, it's time for a change. Like,
not
I
with
don't know
Woodcroft
if this
though.
is an act of rebellion even.
Like I don't want. It is not Woodcroft, and I. You will not hear me this year sound the fire Woodcroft alarm.
This
Like
year.
you cannot do that exactly this year. But fucking old Dutch Ken Holland has been sitting up there cashing his checks, literally sabotaging the organization, winning in spite of him, in spite of his better judgment. Evander Kane fell onto your lap and went on a shooting percentage vendor. Yes, Zach Hyman was good, but we all know that was Brad Holland's call. You traded Ethan Bear for Warren Fogle, whatever. But you signed the Cassian contract, the Chason contract, Kane's current contract, the Jack Campbell contract. We can go up and down the list of all the contracts that are hampering the Edmonton Oilers. And every year it's a new buyout, and every year it's this. And at the end of the day, the Oilers are old, they're slow, and they refuse to play any of their younger players, the limited number that they have. And will they get any better draft picks in the future? Who knows? They might get Macklin Celebrini. But if they get Macklin Celebrini, I see a lot of joke lines. Oh, everyone's so no, they're Hyman, Celebrini, McDavid. I would put a pause on that because if they have the first overall pick, I don't know if that will be the line in the future.
That might be missing the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Here, okay, let's start getting into the press conference. I wanted to actually start with a really funny one from Duck. Do you remember during the summer when the joke that was going around was, wow, are the Oilers going to get a win at Commonwealth Stadium before the Elks do? Wow, okay, this might be a situation where they get 0 home wins again. They luckily broke that curse. Love the Elks. I hope things go better next season. And here's the situation. We are so down. We are so horrendously down right now. And I honestly almost don't want to go, even though I paid for tickets to the Heritage Classic, because I don't want to be disappointed and just surrounded. How many people were booing tonight in the arena in Game 7? There was an over-under on whether there would be a jersey toss in Game 7.
I feel so. It's funny because when I hear those boos, I want I think it's so warranted, obviously, but my mind just can't help and see. I feel so bad for Leon Draisaitl right now because he does not deserve to be getting this treatment. And I know that fans, when they see him, they know it's not his fault, but he's on the team and he's sitting there and he's listening to the boos. So I don't even want to know what Leon Draisaitl's thinking, right? Like that it genuinely hurts me to hear that stuff, and they shouldn't be in this position. But the fact is, they are, and they need to dig themselves out of it. Like, honestly, there is no, oh, we're gonna get the first overall pick. Oh, we're gonna sell Brown and Kane or whatever at the debt. Like that not possible. That is not an option. There is no selling, only buying. This is the next 2 years are cup or bust. So you better figure your shit out, and you better figure shit out quick, because me and you are like they're getting so much in chat, and we're just not looking at it. But I saw MGD's in there, Shaden, obviously. What's up? Breakfast, Michael, Mickinator, all you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on so late and watching us. Tons of you guys.
Nuts. It is 168 people live. It is 10:49 p.m. on a Thursday, y'all. Everyone's got work tomorrow, but hey, there's only 67 likes. There's 101 more people watching than there are likes. Can we get a couple more likes in chat, guys? Yes. Let's get right into the press conference now. We have a couple of names that have been floating around. I've been taking a note. I do read the chat as this show is live. People are suggesting a lot of players, not a lot from inside the system, because I think those are a little bit more boring. But the first one, Gagne.
Yeah.
Gagne could be, if he's feeling fine, and he looks like he's producing in Baco. I feel
after
like
one game, after this major
bring
hip
him up.
surgery. And the thing
Yeah.
is, 2 games ago, I would have been opposed to that. Absolutely. Sam Gagner or Adam Erne, give me Sam Gagner every single day of the week. Honestly, Sam Gagner at least has some sort of offensive skill. Sam Gagner knows how to play hockey. Honestly, give me Devin Shore. And I was the
And
#1 Devin Shore hater, but please, like, I can't believe I owe Devin Shore just the biggest apology. I'm watching Adam
apology.
Erne. I want to jump through a window. Like, I fight the urge not to turn off my television. It's so hard. The only reason I even watch the rest is because I have to do this show. Patrick Kane, that ship has sailed. I mean, yeah, Patrick Kane's probably a little bit better than Derek Ryan playing on your right wing, even though he's not
Okay.
Patrick Kane of old. But
we've heard Patrick Kane. Someone earlier on said Blake Wheeler. Get him from the Rangers.
well, Blake Wheeler's dog. I don't want Blake Wheeler. But see, it's funny because the Oilers are 1-5-1, and I just searched up another team's record, the Seattle Kraken 2-4-2, because there was a great suggestion in chat, and there was someone who actually would fit like a glove, who they will be selling, because I want to say he's a free agent at the end of the year. If they aren't in a playoff spot, that's a team whose future is only looking up, and if they sell at the deadline, there's no ill will there with them and the fans. They made the playoffs last year. Obviously, their fourth line right winger had like 35 goals. Fucking
Back
crazy.
a Canadian hero.
Yeah, exactly. Eli Tolman and Daniel Sprong, a bunch of crazy guys just shooting the lights out in their bottom six. Regardless, a Jordan Eberle
We haven't
return?
said the name.
Yeah.
We haven't said
a Jordan Eberle return? That would be sick. That's a guy who can handle the puck in the offensive zone. That's a guy who can create. That's a guy who can finish. That is the type of player that you need to put with Leon Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. You can't be throwing Adam Erne and Derek Ryan, and I don't care about the injuries, but if you're look at Vegas. Look at Vegas's bottom six when the Oilers were playing them in the playoffs. Phil Kessel was a scratch. If the Edmonton Oilers had Phil Kessel last season, are you telling me that he would be a scratch? There is no chance. Look at the guys. Dorofeyev, Paul Cotter, Nick Waugh. How many of those guys far and away, those would be in Edmonton's top six. Edmonton, they lack the skill in their bottom six to actually make a difference when it matters. Like, yes, I love Ryan McLeod, but the fact of the matter is Ryan McLeod has not finished this year. He's missed training camp. He doesn't look up to snuff. He's slowly getting better every single game, but we can't be waiting for this. Dylan Holloway, he's looked really good, but that guy's got to be in the top six. Warren Fogel's looked really good, but honestly, I'd keep Warren Fogel in the top six. Like, when McDavid comes back,
he's been great.
Keep him and Draisaitl apart. There's no chance you go back to McDry. But the thing is, Woodcroft has taken Dave Tippett's McDry drugs, and every time they're together, it's, we're down by a goal, McDry.
It's the panic button. It's the nuclear option every single time, and it just doesn't make any sense to keep going back to it.
Down 5 minutes in, 1-0 to Columbus, and they throw together the nuclear line in the preseason against the Coachella Valley Firebirds. They were running Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Literally, why? Use your preseason to teach your fucking systems. Don't be doing this shit. Why are we winning 7-1? Sick. They won the preseason cup. Thank God. Pack it up. Go home. Captain Skate starts in July next year. Let's go.
And okay, here's a great question. We've had a lot of names floating around, but we can't do one question for the presser. We got to move on to a couple more. There's a lot of people saying fire Holland, fire Woody. Which one are you going with?
Holland every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. I'd fire Holland 2 years ago. Ken Holland, I cannot bear to see the guy start going to another press conference and start counting for some reason. 84, 85, 83, 82, 85, less than 5, 84. Like, spends 40 minutes counting, talking to the media. He says a whole lot of nothing. Says, oh, well, in Detroit, well, during Prohibition, I had George Vezina on my team, and
he's the definition of that meme with all of the algebra floating around his face. He just goes into these math rants where nothing makes sense.
I don't know what's wrong with Woodcroft, because when Woodcroft came in, that first season when he took over for Tippett, and even last season, there were points. Yes, there were some things that we'd like. Would I have liked him to play Holloway higher? Would I have liked him in the first year to, elevate Bouchard onto the power play one, even when Tyson Barrie was here? Absolutely. But we saw Woodcroft willing to make adjustments. We saw Woodcroft working in the neutral zone. We saw Woodcroft working with him and Manson working with defense, standing up at the blue line. Zone denials were prioritized, and it feels like all of that has just evaporated. Like, no one knows what the Oilers are doing. Like, this is peak bad defense. Like, it makes no sense. Like, there needs to be fundamental changes. The thing is, I do believe Woodcroft is capable. The Oilers before the season hired guys like Michael Parketti. There's no way in hell that Michael Parketti is sitting there saying, okay, play Adam Erne on the first line right wing. Like, he definitely is a proponent of put Dylan Holloway in the top six. He definitely understands and can see the value that some of these players are bringing and what other players aren't bringing. There are guys in that thing that Jeff Jackson has brought on that I know for a fact can recognize the systems that they are failing to execute, and they know that there needs to be changes. The one guy who we know can't and has failed to do it, and it never has that we've seen any evidence that he ever will, is Ken Holland.
Look, there's just so much evidence that points to Holland not being able to build a team in the cap era, and it is so clear. But let's move on from that. I agree. I think Woody is fine. Give him another chance here. Like, there are analytics staff that have joined the Edmonton Oilers, but they need a little bit more time, right? They're going to have to. I just hope that whatever they suggest isn't ignored by the team, isn't ignored by the coaching staff. They're hired not just to be like a beacon. They have to do their job, and people have to listen to them. Okay, let's get into one final question, and I just had it and I lost it. Oh,
good.
no.
But yeah, I see. While you're finding it, I'll talk here about Darnell Nurse. People are talking about Darnell Nurse in the chat. And honestly, I don't think Darnell Nurse was that bad. Like, yeah, I believe he was like a -2 or something tonight. Yeah, he definitely could have challenged on some of those plays, but I honestly want to believe that it's the system as to why he's doing that. It's not necessarily a Nurse thing. Yes, has Nurse been a problematic decision maker in the past? Absolutely. Is he always going to make the right call? No. But honestly, to me, I can't sit here and I can't put the blame on Darnell Nurse. I thought he played, honestly, yeah, I thought he played fine. One guy who, it's been so negative today. One guy who, well, Dennis is looking for this question. I want to talk about, in a positive light. Vincent Desharnais, I thought played excellent today. He had a rush that I did not expect. There was a drop pass to Hyman at the blue line. He got it back from Hyman, took a shot on the net. He was really effective in his own zone. Didn't get scored on, obviously. I thought he's been really physical. I thought he's one of the few guys that has kind of executed properly in the defensive zone. He's looked really good. He's actually making semi-decent breakout passes to me, it looks like. Vincent Desharnais, and he's one of the guys that didn't have a strong preseason, but I've been super impressed with him, and I'd like to see a little bit more of Vincent Desharnais. Even Philip Broberg. Philip Broberg tonight was skating really well. Yeah. He was skating really well. Was he exceptional? No. Did he play a lot? No. But I do think in the minutes that he had, he was decent.
He was effective, and that's kind of all you need from him. I found it. Well, it took a while because it was actually a message from Avery. Avery's question: if the Oilers fold, where is the game over Edmonton talent going to be drafted?
Oh man, I'll tell you where I'm going. This is like doomsday. This is horrible. I don't even want to put this in the universe, but yeah. I'm taking my talents. I would say to South Beach, but I'm taking my talents whatever beach 97 is on.
Open up whatever market it's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. It's whatever. That's just joking and fun, but I don't think that's gonna happen, at least as of right now. We'll see how the season kind of unfolds. But
where's the vibes? Where's the vibes best? Just show some love to our other hosts.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what to say. One thing? Oh man, I saw people talking about it in chat. My chat window just closed. Oh man, where did it go? I saw people talking about Nurse.
There's a lot of people showing some love for Vinny. That's awesome. Yeah, He's been pretty solid.
Someone nicknamed me Nike Tech. I love it. Keep it coming. Yeah, absolutely. I saw Wisecow's been furiously trying to give me a mic. You bring your mic to the Pint on White. Sure. But I have no problem buying a mic myself, so it's all good.
Make sure it's in a wrapped package, just pure white, unmarked.
Last thing I want to talk about, because you kind of said, oh, that's all they need from Philip Broberg, and yes, at this point I do agree. But you think back, this is the fundamental problem with Ken Holland. You think back to that 2019 draft, and you look at all the guys who were drafted around him. Look at the impacts that those guys made on their teams. Look at the guys in the 2020 draft, and I love Dylan Holloway, and he's not been put in a position to have made on their teams. The Oilers, they need more. They needed to have guys from those draft classes come in and be impact forwards, like Cole Caulfield, who you can go back and look at my Twitter, who I wanted them to take at the 2019 draft. I was so excited that Cole Caulfield fell to the Edmonton Oilers, and then he, kept on falling. They had a chance to take Zegers. They had a chance to take a number of impact forwards, and they elected to go for this defenseman who has failed to be as impactful as anyone would have liked 5 years into his NHL career. Like, if he can be a shutdown guy, a top four guy, eventually, awesome. But again, the problem is you need the impact right now. We're always going to get back to the here and now. And the fact of the matter is these first round picks that they've drafted cannot, or they are not letting, make an impact like they should at this point in their careers. And yeah, that's the problem. You should have these cheap guys on your team to just supplement and move up the lineup as you get rid of your Klim Kostins, as you let Evander Kane walk, for example. If you let Evander Kane walk and you put Dylan Holloway in his spot, that was kind of supposed to be the thing. But obviously, we're just getting older and slower instead of getting faster and younger, and that's not how a championship team is built.
The young guys are not getting a chance, and then when they do, they sign for decent money, and then we can't afford them anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we start wrapping up the show, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to say it's been fun. The show's been fun. All you guys watching, it's been fun. All 148 of you. One more time, you want to hit like, hit subscribe, come to the Pint on White, hang out with Dennis, Avery, Audie, Peter, myself. I know someone from Toronto, producer, will be there. Some other people from out east will be there. It's going to be a fun SDPN event where, one way or another, there'll be something happening. I want the Oilers to win. I don't know anymore. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also dreading it.
Someone's going to be happy because one of these 4-game losing streaks is going to be broken. But Zach, you and I will both be at the Heritage Classic. That's a 5 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. Guys, if you are there, you see us, let us know. Come say hi. We'll take a couple of photos. But definitely get your tickets to the Pint Off-White. It's going to be a post-game show. It's going to be a little bit later than it usually is because we won't go live immediately after the show. But it will be streamed as well. So get your tickets while you can.
Yep.
Come see us on Sunday at the game or at the Pint. We love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. 135 still. It is 11 p.m.
Yep.
Thank you all so much.
We will see you tomorrow. Link is in the description. So long for now.
Game!